Hello everyone, it's been a while. I don't even remember what the last update was, to be honest. I don't think Lycoris had had her puppies yet. She had her puppies a while ago. They're turning 4 weeks old tomorrow. She had to have an emergency C-section after hours and hours of labor. She just had uterine inertia. Basically what happened is that the uterus just stopped contracting. She never had any puppies. It was almost like she was in labor for like 2 days before the day that night, actually. It was in the middle of the night. She had about an hour of good contractions and then it just all stopped. Like actual contractions, trying to push puppies out. And there was a puppy right there and it all stopped. She never had any contractions after that point. And we could force contractions, but they were weak and the puppy wasn't moving out. And it wasn't an issue if it was too big or anything like that. It basically, her uterus just stopped working. Our repro vet, he was kind enough to take her in as emergency and did a C-section on her. And he stated that the puppies, by the time we brought her in, were just to the point of getting distressed. So we brought her in just in time, meaning his point is that we made the right decision, and not to wait any longer to see if she could have them. A huge relief, they all made it. Although we were concerned for the first 2 weeks for a couple of them, just because they were slower to get going and gaining weight. But they're all doing fantastic now. Lycoris, baby girl. He did explain to us that he's never found a rhyme or reason for uterine inertia. It can be a weird occurrence of, for some reason, the hormones have dumped. And because the hormones is what makes the contractions occur. Could have been stress related, maybe. He doesn't know. No one seems to really know why uterine inertia happens. Although he did mention it seems to commonly happen in bulldog types. And this is only the second C-section he's done on a collie. But he did approve her to go on to have at least 1 more or 2 more litters. He did say that she could have uterine inertia again, but there's no way of knowing that unless we just breed her and find out if she is going to do it again. But he feels comfortable performing subsequent C-sections on her if necessary. Personally, if she has to have a C-section again, I don't know that we would breed her a 3rd time for her health. Because then that would be more scarring in her abdomen and all that. But if she has to have another C-section, should be spayed at that time if we aren't going to breed her again. Which we have a male from this litter we may or may not be keeping. We want a male from her in 9, but we're not sure yet if we're going to keep him. If we're not, we definitely will be having another litter. What else? Sassy's gone. She went to her new home and she's doing great. Obi's gone. She went to her new home and she's doing really good. Petal, she's gone. All of them after their spays. Mana, he's being neutered at the end of August, and he already has a new home lined up for him. Mana is Paladin, Lawlight, and Caesar's sire. So that only leaves, I say only leaves, we have Hibana. She's getting spayed. She's the one that has the heart murmur and had the really bad first litter. We covered it at the time, I think, but it was just her first litter, and for whatever reason, prior to going into labor, she had plenty of milk. But when she went into labor, the milk stopped being produced, for one, but it also turned gray and like blue. It was coming out like blue. And no explanation as to why that happened. So we had to bottle feed her litter. We did get some milk to come back in by feeding her fenugreek. But it wasn't a lot. And at that point, they were already starting to be weaned onto food. So it helped, but we had no idea why that happened. She also was one that had very weak contractions during active labor, and I had to help her get out 2 puppies. So we decided not to breed her again, especially considering we found out about the heart murmur thing. I'll introduce this little lady in a second once I finish on Hibana. We had the heart murmur checked out by a repro vet. Now, he wasn't able to do like echo. You have to go to someone specific for that to target exactly where is the problem. But he did x-ray, he ultrasound, everything, and he approved her to be spayed, and he didn't feel like it's something that's going to affect her quality of life or anything like that. But without an echo, we don't know the exact issue. She has no outward symptoms of it or anything like that. It's just when she goes into the vet, they can hear a murmur when they put the stethoscope on her. We will have 2 Pomeranians available, Mumble and Marimo. Marimo is Watari's sister, so out of Sassy and Yufu. We had kept her back for a prospect out of Sassy and Yufu's last litter, but we've decided that she's not suited to our program. Only real particular reasons for that is, one, she's having a bit of a lag in growing her bottom jaw. So her bottom jaw is a bit shorter than her top jaw. So the opposite issue of being too long. And because she has larger eyes like her mom, she also has a problem of, they call it cherry eye, but it's when the third eyelid, the other membranes in there get inflamed and pop out. It does it on occasion, but it's not like, it doesn't stay out. So it's not like a full cherry eye, it's like an occasional cherry eye. So those things are combined with the fact that she's also very adamant about not wanting to be in a crate, although she does sleep in it at night. If you try to crate her any other time, she pitches a fit. Just like her mom, she has it very strongly. I guess we both just felt like Watari's good enough, and we just don't want to have to try and crate train another stubborn one, and it'd just be better off finding her a new home. Mumble, I don't know if he's been introduced or not. He's the blue-eyed Merle white Pomeranian that we have. Same thing with him. We bought him as a prospect, but with him, we bought him without papers, which, as y'all know, I've said before, is a huge no-no. But Peyton was just like, I'm down here, he's cheap, I'll just get him. You know, she said she would send the papers. Well, guess what? We haven't gotten any papers on him as of, we've had him for several months now. And honestly, it's fine, because his temperament, he's sweet, but he's very anxious. And he has this thing where when he gets upset or excited, he screams, and I mean literal scream. Like, me and Peyton call him the thylacine. He screams like a fox does. It's awful. And confinement specifically sets him off. So being in a crate, or, you know, if we are trying to get him to calm down before he goes outside, he will do that. He'll scream like that. So we just feel like it's best to let him go to a new home. Hey, pretty lady. So he will also be available. You're not supposed to be eating. Oh wait, no, you're not eating that. Okay. You know, the Poms are so prone to anxiety already, and we have several that are a little more on the anxious side, so we just felt like it was best not to have him in our program. We're cutting back, and we're trying to be more picky. Now with the Poms, it's hard to be picky because they have a lot of problems, but the Collies especially, we're being more picky. Alright, so I'm going to introduce these ladies. We decided to get horses. Well, I should say, I'm falling off. Are we going to put y'all's butts in our faces? We got Sephora, the buckskin frame. We also believe she's Splash, but we're going to get her tested to see first, because we've always wanted a horse. And there was a local hobby breeder, basically, that had her. She's 2 years old. She's peeing. And she was willing to bring her over because our truck's not up and running yet to pull a trailer. And we just absolutely fell in love with her. I mean, she's been perfect for us. Does really, really well with the dogs, the cats, you know, just our environment. She's fit in really well. The only problem we had is she started to get lonely, because, you know, horses are herd animals, not meant to be alone. So that's how we ended up with Erebos. They're both mares. Erebos is 3 years old. She technically came from a Amish farm in Ohio. Now she's poopy. I'm gonna go around so you can see what their faces. She is Frisian Appaloosa. She's half and half. Sephora is quarter horse paint, so she's half and half. Erebos came from Amish farm in Ohio, but she came from a broker in North Carolina. She's a work in progress, health-wise. Young lady. I need to put some stuff in your eyes. The bugs are irritating you. Yes, I know. My girl. There she is. She's really beat up and got a lot of scars from the other horses in the pasture. She also came to us lame on this front leg. The vet's already been out. She's been looked at. She's been x-rayed. She has very, very mild ring bone on that leg from some sort of injury. We think likely the injury occurred actually there, and that's why she was lame. Because at first we were thinking abscess, because she was in a muddy pasture for 3 weeks. But there wasn't really any abscess that came out, and we've been soaking and doing various stuff and nothing's come out. The swelling's gone down and she's gotten more mobile on it. She really kind of only hitches up when she pivots on that front leg. She's getting better, but she needs some work, and she's supposed to be black. She's brown because of get your behind out of the way. A lot of people don't know this, but most horses are mineral deficient, and with black horses they turn brown, and with like your chestnuts and stuff, a chestnut's supposed to look more of a red color. They're not supposed to look orange. That's mineral deficiency. And even this girl is likely mineral deficient because that tail should be more black. People call it sun fading, you know, as if the sun is bleaching them, but it's actually from a mineral deficiency and not from the sun. Because most of your wild Mustangs are black. And that comes from the fact that they're wild, so they have the capacity to just go out and eat whatever minerals that they want. Whereas most domestic captive horses, they're not supplemented on minerals. So they end up turning janky colors because of it. Lycoris, get out of that pen. So anyway, we have 2 horses now. They've both done really, really well with the dogs and the cats. The only time we have issues so far with Sephora specifically around the animals is when she's in heat, which she is currently. And she has a habit of turning into a dragon and trying to stomp the dogs. But otherwise, they've done really well. And we want to train some of the dogs to be able to run alongside them while we ride them. So we're really excited about that. Lycoris. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. For now, we will be keeping the Pomeranians. I asked Peyton if we can do it for another year or 2 and see if we feel like we're getting good progress or not from our pairings. And if not, I think we're probably going to cut our losses and rehome most of them. There will be some that we will be keeping, just because they are a big stressor. And it's not worth doing if we can't make improvements. And that's the thing we're not sure yet on, is whether we can improve the breed. There's some studies we've been looking at that indicate it might be very, very difficult to do, or potentially even impossible. But until we confirm that for ourselves, we're going to do it for another year or 2. I think Peyton just came home. We do have some litters planned for the end of the year, but we won't announce anything until it gets closer to that time. So as of right now, we just have Lycoris' litter. Red Lycoris. So So bye-bye for now.